Writing about my family, I found out that, my brother has so many rabid fans out there, and they know far more about him than I do. My father wrote a daily column in the newspaper, in a national newspaper actually, and he was quite well known for being on TV and his other work with the CBC, and he used to do some of the on-camera interviews at Hockey Night in Canada, and so he was kind of a big deal back then, and I realized that people treated me differently because of my family. It took me a couple of years to realize that I didn't really have a sense of who I was, I literally had to leave my hometown, Toronto, to get away from it because it was something that I felt, and I still feel, that if people know that's who I am the first time they meet me, they'll never treat me like a regular human being. I wrote it in kind of a very psychedelic way, in a sense. I just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote about stuff in stories and people and things like that, and things that happened and things that I thought were interesting. And I didn't write it chronologically either. I just started with something and then I moved on to the next thing. Writing about my family, I found out that, my brother has so many rabid fans out there, and they know far more about him than I do. And it's like, okay, well, if they know all this stuff, what am I writing this for, My publisher said something to me. He goes, this is your story. They want it, you really want to tell it from your angle. I've had a lot of musical training since I was a very small child. So I played in orchestras, and I have a background in classical music and such. And I know when I started getting into rock and roll that that's really what I wanted to do. But, having said that, and having the associations with my family, as it were, it was really hard to be taken seriously by anybody. I think I stand, apart from both my brother and my father in the things that I do, and that it's just a matter, I think, of just letting it go and letting the universe take me where it was going to take me, When I got to Los Angeles, I ended up in a band and signed to a record label within 6 weeks, right? They didn't know who I was for another year after that, which was fantastic. Here I was in this huge city. They hired me because they liked the way I sang, they liked the way I looked, they liked all these things about me. And I think it wasn't until then that I started gaining confidence in myself and who I was and my self-worth.
Maybe you're not just right after all. Maybe you're no good, but the greatest of love often don't come free.
This particular record has a lot to do with relationships, and has a lot to do with the karma of these relationships, whether it's people that I've played with in the past, or people I've worked with in studios, people I've written with, people I've been involved with, or such like that. I just want to reach as many people as possible, and I hear it's a really good read, regardless of of whether it's on the page or on the screen. If I think I don't own one myself, a Kindle or an iPad, or I find it, I like to actually turn the pages and stuff like that. I'm more of a tactile person that way. However, if that's what people want, then I say let them have it.